going to give some attention to the practice of Mujahida, or Mujahida. It's a classical practice of Sufism done in different ways, and it may help some of us create the frame or the capacity or the space where we can more easily go into the Mujahida contemplation. And it's valuable in and of itself. It goes back to a situation in the life of the Prophet Muhammad when they had been able to make Arabia safe for the practice of their religion, because they'd been a bunch of pacifists, turned the other cheek Muslims, and they had been virtually eliminated, and they received the inner command that this was the only condition which justified a jihad, that people were taking away from you your freedom to practice your religion. That's the only condition, you see. Though jihad is in the news and a lot of people's egos get appropriated with it. This is a classical Sufi tradition we're talking about, traced to the Prophet Muhammad. And so after they'd been successful in overcoming this by opposing the opposition, but very often just finding the way to outsmart them and out-negotiate them, and in any case, they had achieved success. He said, now we've won the greater jihad against external, the lesser jihad rather, against external enemies, and now's the time to turn our attention to the greater holy war, which is to overcome our own blinding enemies within, greed and jealousy and lust and self-loathing and hate and all of these things that blind us to our real nature. So that's that intention to overcome the deluding emotions is just exactly what is undertaken in Buddhism by the Bodhisattva, who says, no matter how innumerable the deluding passions are, I vow to extinguish them. No matter how countless the pathways of the truth, I vow to take them all to the end. No matter how innumerable the beings there are, I vow to liberate them all. So it's going to be around. This person is going to be around for a long time. It's a tremendous vow. But the first thing is, you vow to overcome the things that are deluding you. So how can you, as Jesus said, pluck out the splinter in your friend's eye when you're blinded by the large 2x4, the piece of wood in your own eye. So that's the Mujahid practice. Perhaps, there's a big piece of wood out here that you're really, you see the evil of and the wrongness of and all of that about it, and maybe you have just a little splinter in your eye which makes you reactive toward that quality, and your reactivity towards it, not your activity towards it from your place of authenticity and fullness of being and light. That's what life asks of us. But if we're just on reactive mode, then we are not able to accomplish what we might otherwise. So this is to disarm our own army. I remember during the Vietnam War, when someone said to Murshid Sam, they said, what do we have to do to stop this? And he said, just stop pulling the triggers in yourself. It comes down to that. So, everywhere we're interconnected. The trigger out here is connected with the trigger in here through a bond of interconnectedness. And so by truly and authentically and honestly trying to deal with our own issues, we are actually helping all of those things that resonate with us in the great interdependent resonance of vibration that is our life together here. So the practice just asks us first to go within and to center our being in the capacity of heart, which we do in a lot of these practices that we're doing. So it comes right in the very stream of what we're doing, to take a nice measured breath, balanced, letting it become refined and letting it massage the space in the heart. Just come in and out of the heart space. And just settle into that. You can take Allah, Allah on the breath if you like, to remind you of what you're going to be massaging this space with, just this sense of divine perfection of the only being. And you look into your heart like into a globe. And you feel into it. And you feel and see the places where there are impressions, that you might call them samskaras, issues, things where we have reacted to some wound or some prodding of some sort and coagulated around it an impression. So just we become sensitive to those, and we are looking to allow them to release so that they can be dissolved, and that one can come, just at least for now, into a place of non-judgment and clarity and transparency to light on the inside. So we just begin to address these impressions within with this light, refined breath, carrying the healing of Allah, the one and only being. And it may be relatively easy to clear the impressions of the day and the temporary worries, but then there are deeper impressions that arise, and we don't gloss over them. We just throw the light of this breath right into them and illuminate them without any fear. If people come up that make you uncomfortable, that make you want to avoid them, that arouse your sense of judgment, look into yourself and see your relationship to the quality that that person or that group of people has in common that arouses this samskara, this impression within yourself, and then work on clearing that with this gentle, accepting, releasing love that says you don't have to cling on to grudges, you don't have to cling on to this, just be. And what this means as an active practice is just finding the way to clear the heart so that the light of the soul shines through very transparently, and doing it, coming back to it whenever an impression arises and takes root in a place where you have your place where you're going to hold this and stew about it, and it's going to be alive, whether it's conscious or unconscious, immediately go into it and look it in the face and allow it to be cleared. Maybe you come to some deep layer of self-loathing or judgment, but don't give up when you get there. Everyone has places that they get to. Just continue to stay in your practice and know that if I keep coming back to this with this breath of compassion and love and acceptance and offering it up to the One, in time it will respond. And heal more and more. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute after saying that we're going to sit here with this breath for another minute or two and practicing this heart that is transparent to light, and being, whenever we find this impression that comes up, we go to that and we massage it in the light with the breath. Offer it up.